Right, so a couple of days ago, we were taking a look at a situation going over on TikTok that was involving a couple of people, one of which we called the Gel Lady. I say we, it wasn't me who made up the name. I'm not just giving people fucking nicknames I've never met before. That's kind of just what TikTok called her. Her actual name is Ashley Elliott. She has 15 million followers, and she has done plenty of videos like putting like loads of gel in her hair. She's also released her own gel, hence why the nickname's there. Now, the second person we took a look at, unfortunately, didn't have any cool nicknames. We're just gonna go with MARKIE. Actually, you know what? I've actually just seen her bio right here. It says Miss Lalabop, and I'm assuming that isn't a government last name, so she does have a nickname, it seems. If that actually is her government name, then congratulations, Monique. You have a very unique name. I'm really jealous. Now, I'm not going to go through all the details that we spoke about in my previous video, because obviously I would be here for another 10 minutes or so, but I'll try and give you a very quick recap in case you didn't see that video. But before we do get any further, I'm going to do something that I haven't done in God knows how long, and that's to ask you to subscribe at the beginning of the video. Obviously, I was asking a lot before hitting 400k, but I thought I'd give you a bit of a break. So, yeah, we're back. If you could subscribe, that'd be lovely. We're trying to hit 412,000 subscribers. Is that the next number? Yeah, it's a big milestone. But yeah, if you are new and you could subscribe, that'd be lovely. So Ashley used to do a bunch of videos with her husband. These were kind of your classic, like, couple type TikTok videos. They had their own individual roles in the videos, which we see a lot of couples do, you know. She was kind of playing the wife who's really into doing these TikTok videos, and he was playing the husband that didn't really want to be there, but he got involved anyways. People really like seeing their videos together. They like them as a couple. But a few days ago, Ashley actually uploaded a video that kind of changed all of this. It's this video right here. It's got pretty much 12 million views, so a lot of people were very interested in this, but she basically gives a hypothetical situation talking about how she will always want to work for herself because she won't want to rely on someone else, because there's always a possibility that you get married to someone, think they're great, and then they go off with someone else, and then you're left by yourself. And the video left a lot of people confused. Is this a hypothetical situation, or is it actually a specific situation that she is going through currently with her husband? She then followed up with a couple more videos, which again, a lot of people were interested in. I mean, next one had 9 million views. The one after that had 23.4 million views. Like, this was a ridiculously big situation on TikTok, as you can tell by the numbers. But in these two videos, she basically says that that original video wasn't to do with her husband, but there is something going on that she wants to keep private. There's a reason why she hasn't been wearing her ring on her finger. There's also a reason why she deleted all the videos with her husband, and that reason was because he didn't want to be in them. He didn't want to be part of social media anymore. But yeah, she made it very clear that something has gone on, which you could probably tell from the original video and the fact that the videos are deleted, but she wants it to remain private, which is completely understandable. In fact, she actually handled this situation incredibly well, in my opinion. A lot of people in this scenario might want to bash the person who's done them wrong, or potentially done them wrong, but she decided to be the bigger person. At the end of the day, this is her husband, someone that she spent a lot of time with, is still in love with. Obviously, it's a very recent situation, and probably the biggest reason out of it all, she has a child with this husband, or maybe multiple. I'm not actually 100% sure how many children, but she has at least one child, and let's be honest, what child wants to grow up and see their parents arguing on social media over TikTok videos? That's not really a good idea, is it? So yet again, I think she handled it very well, and what she said there could have been left at that. She mentioned that something had happened, but she wanted to remain private, and honestly, everyone respected that. But that was until Monique came along, who uploaded this video with 5.5 million views reacting to Ashley's video. Now, one thing that is worth noting here is that no one knew who Monique was specifically regarding this situation. Like, no one knew she was involved in the single slightest. She decided to upload this video and basically just air out Ashley and her husband's private situation for everyone to see, for millions of people to see. Specifically after Ashley made it very clear that she wants this to remain private, and to me, this was just very, very strange behavior. It seemed like she did it for very selfish reasons. She knew that Ashley was this huge TikToker. She even says in her video that she's been watching Ashley for like 2 years, way before she got involved with the husband. And to me personally, in my opinion, it just seems like she completely disregarded anyone else's feelings. Ashley's feelings, the husband's feelings, and the child's feelings, right? And clearly this worked for her, because her next few videos talking about this situation did incredibly well. I mean, 5.6 million, 2.4 million, 1.7 million. A lot of people were seeing these, so she probably got what she wanted. Now, in case you haven't seen my last video and you don't know what happened between the husband and Monique, basically, Monique is a sex worker who is in an open relationship. Ashley is not in an open relationship. It seems like, from what we can tell, but this is kind of speculation, everyone's kind of been a bit vague about this for obvious reasons, but the husband seems to have reached out to Monique. They had inappropriate conversations together, then Ashley found out, and Monique decided to make this all public. Now, the way Monique explains it is kind of talking about how, like, her her husband was just her client, which I guess is fair enough, right? That is her job at the end of the day. But it's more the fact that she decided to air it out publicly and not think about other people's feelings. She even changed her bio on TikTok to homewrecker, you know, just kind of boasting about the fact that she had a part to play in this with like the divorce or potential divorce. And then that kind of resulted in Ashley having to properly address this, right? She uploaded a few videos kind of talking about this scenario. This was the main one right here. Again, all of these videos are shown in my last video if you do want to see them. But in this video, she addresses the fact that, yes, clearly something has happened with her husband that she still doesn't want to talk about. She wants to keep it private, which again, she has every right to do so. And I think she's handled this incredibly well. Now, unfortunately, she did have to release more information than she wanted to, clearly, because it was already out there. She wanted to correct some of the misinformation out there, especially regarding Monique saying that Ashley's kind of been like bullying her and being passive aggressive on social media and writing captions about her. Ashley says that these captions that Monique has a problem with were way before she even knew who Monique was. And that's kind of where the situation got left in my video. But since I uploaded that video, in fact, literally the night of me uploading that video, like a few hours later, the husband's actually responded. Now, we will get to his response in just a second, but just to do this in chronological order, Ashley actually uploaded another video that came out after my most recent video, so let's take a look at that.
Today marks 29 days of grieving a relationship that I truly thought was the best thing that's ever happened to me. And today I'm experiencing a lot of confusion and a lot of guilt. Like, what could I have done differently to change this? Where were my shortfalls? Even gets to the point where you start to look at yourself in the mirror differently, and things that you liked about yourself before you no longer like about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to feel for it, right? Because breakups are bad at the best at times, but to do it in front of millions of people who now know the situation which she didn't want people to know in the first place, it must make it 10 times tougher, because it'll be impossible to avoid unless she just stops working. But again, another thing that's worth pointing out here is in these videos talking about the fact that she's grieving, she still doesn't say anything bad about the husband. She hasn't said anything bad about him this whole time. Like, yeah, maybe you could talk about the original video of the hypothetical situation. She says that has nothing to do with her husband specifically. It was just something that came across her mind whilst going through this breakup. But even in that video, she didn't mention anything specifically bad about the husband. She didn't mention anything specifically about the husband, didn't name him or anything. But even if you want to say that was definitely about him, it still wasn't overly bad. Like, she didn't, like, start calling him names or anything. She just spoke about the fact that, you know, husband could, like, find someone else. And if this situation is true and that's what's happened, then yeah, she really hasn't said anything bad. Like, that is what's happened in this scenario.
Not every day I feel like this. Some days I know this was not my fault. But today I feel guilty. I feel ashamed. I feel responsible.
I mean, yeah, yet again, you really do have to feel for it, don't you? Like I said, breakups are bad at the best of times. Like, thoughts like this can go through your brain. And this isn't how she wanted it to happen. She wanted to keep this completely private, but unfortunately, due to someone else who isn't involved in the marriage. Like, yeah, she might be involved in the situation, but it's not her marriage. She didn't have to talk about it, especially publicly, and now I guess Ashley feels like she probably does have to. Now, after this, Ashley uploaded another video called Day 30, where she talks about how she's trying to come up with, like, a new routine just to kind of keep her mind busy, I guess, to not really overly think about the situation. Like, these videos aren't bad by any means. In fact, it could be very helpful for people going through very similar stuff. She's just being open and honest about her feelings, and again, still not saying anything about the husband. So this is the point where the husband speaks out. Now, obviously, we spoke about earlier how he didn't want to be involved in social media, and he actually ends up posting this video on an account just called, like, user so-and-so, just like a bunch of numbers. It has got a bunch of followers, so clearly he did used to use this, but he does seem to have just completely wiped the profile, so I guess he really didn't want to be part of social media anymore. But yeah, he did end up uploading 2 videos, and this was the first one.
It's one thing to go on social media and tell them about your private life, especially when your partner done told you over and over about that. But it's another thing to tell me one thing, but let social media believe it's another thing.
Right, now look, we obviously don't know the whole situation here, so we have to take it at face value. I don't want to make like a bunch of assumptions or anything, because we don't know the specifics. But obviously he's just said there that he's not happy with his partner going to social media and talking about their private life when he told her how he felt about that. But from everything we know, like what's being released publicly, clearly Ashley didn't want to talk about their private life. Like, yeah, she maybe hinted at certain things here and there, but she really hasn't given specifics, and she's actually defended him a lot through this. She's mentioned how she won't talk negatively about him, which she hasn't, and she talks about how she doesn't want anyone to talk negatively about him. Like, she really has defended it. And yet again, Ashley wasn't the person who made this public. It was Monique, and then Ashley had to speak about it because millions of people knew now. In fact, in Ashley's original videos, when she's talking about the fact that she's deleted all these videos with her husband, she mentions the fact that he no longer wants to be on social media, which definitely could have had a big part to play in it. But if we're being honest here, if the situation has played out the way we thought it has, and they have broken up due to this situation, then that would probably be a big reason why she'd delete the videos too. But she didn't mention that. She didn't say it was because of something he did. She said it in a nice way that didn't make him look bad at all. And then again, when asked about the ring and why she's not wearing it, she doesn't give any information out, so I am slightly confused by that video. But like I mentioned, that wasn't the only video we got. We also got a second video from him.
So y'all know I don't like social media. I don't care for it. So I was gonna be quiet about the whole situation, you know. I was gonna be the bad guy. But I'm not about to let a person who used me for their success, the whole marriage, run my name through the mud.
Yeah, so if anything, this video is actually a lot more confusing. Now, I do just want to make it clear dead quick. I didn't put that text on the screen saying like, oh, we don't even know your name. Whoever posted this on TikTok did. The reason why it's been re-uploaded by someone is because these videos actually got deleted very, very quickly. But yeah, as we just heard him say, he is annoyed that someone who used him the whole way through their marriage for her own success is now running his name through the mud. Which is a very, like, strong thing to say, right? Especially considering Ashley really hasn't said anything bad publicly. Again, we don't know the private situation. This could be, like, a lot bigger in terms of, like, what they've been saying to each other behind the scenes. But just judging the stuff that they've posted publicly, that seems incredibly harsh in comparison to what Ashley has been saying. Also, the whole thing about using him for her success, I mean, if we go to a page where she now only has videos of her, she was clearly doing well. I mean, these all have millions of views. This one has 30 million views, like, just stupid numbers. I mean, 22.9, 21.7, 26.7, 15.4, like, she was doing good. I mean, this one has 40 million views. Bloody hell. Yeah, yeah, she was getting stupid numbers. So yeah, from what we can tell, I feel like it's very unfair to say that she, like, used him for, like, her own success. But again, we don't know the whole scenario. We don't know exactly what has happened here. We don't know what's happened in private. But what we do know is that it seems like Ashley has handled this a lot more maturely, especially publicly, right? Obviously, there could be a lot of arguments behind the scenes. That's very normal, especially if you're going through a divorce. But the way Ashley's handled herself publicly, especially knowing the fact that they have a child together, they're going to see this stuff one day. I think she's handled it very well. But the way he's handling this publicly, he's saying some pretty harsh stuff, I don't really get it. Like I said, the child's going to see it one day, and that's just not going to be a nice thing to see. I mean, handling private situations online publicly is never a good idea at the best of times, but when you're in, like, a marriage, you got a family, all this stuff, it's definitely not a good way to handle it. And you can probably tell that by the fact that he deleted these videos very quickly. But then after these videos came out, Ashley actually posted her own kind of response video where, yet again, she's handling this with a lot of grace, you know? She's handling this very maturely and still doesn't say anything bad about the husband.
There are 2 reasons you guys will not hear me share what has happened within my marriage here on my platform. The first reason, and the most important reason, is I have 2 small children that will see everything I put out here one day. All I want them to know is they have a mommy that loves them and a daddy that loves them.
I mean, yeah, she couldn't have said it any better, right? So she has 2 children with this man, right? They don't need to be seeing their parents arguing on social media over TikTok videos where millions of people get involved in it. At this point, it would have been very easy for Ashley to make a video going into details, like saying some horrible stuff because the husband has, and she didn't. And yeah, like I said, we don't know the whole private situation, but from what we can see, I feel like she's handled this very, very well.
I know you guys are seeing so much right now, and there's so many accusations, and there's so many assumptions, and I can assure you, not all of it is true. And as you guys can see, it doesn't matter if you delete a video 3 seconds after posting it, somebody's already screen recorded it, and now it's out there for everybody to see. So, with that being said, before I post something, I think about all the different possibilities that can happen once I post that video. To include what could happen 10 years from now when my children are asking me why I posted this on the internet. The one thing that I will confirm is, yes, my marriage is ending.
Yeah, so yet again, she handled this incredibly well, and she obviously does say at the end of the video that her marriage is ending, which, I mean, it obviously became pretty obvious at this point. Like, I think anyone can really guess that just from the information we've seen. But again, she's now having to address something and talk about a situation that she wanted to keep private in the first place because someone else came out and spoke about it publicly. Now, luckily, if we look at the comments, F1 is saying very nice things about Ashley and the way she's handled this, because, yeah, she has handled this incredibly well. I can't imagine how tough it must be to go through a situation that is already ridiculously sad in the first place, but to do it in front of millions of people who are all asking questions on your TikTok videos. You literally can't upload a video and check the comments because you'll be reminded of it. It must be incredibly tough, and she's handled this incredibly well. And yeah, hopefully this is the end of the situation, right? You'd feel like this would be a good place to end it. It probably should have ended a long time ago. But this seems like a place where it could possibly end publicly, is what I mean, right? There doesn't need to be more people, like, kind of posted videos about each other back and forth, you know? Monique, actually, if we're going to give her credit, hasn't posted another video about this since. Now, yeah, she obviously did post the videos in the first place, so the damage is already done, but she could still be uploading the videos now, and she isn't, so yeah, we'll give her some credit. Hopefully that doesn't change by the time I actually upload this video, because I will look incredibly stupid. But yeah, the fact that he actually deleted the videos very soon after upload them probably does make it seem like he regretted doing it and realized it was a bit of a stupid decision. Hopefully it all just ends well, right? I mean, for the children's sake, more importantly, but also for Ashley and her husband and everyone else involved. Hopefully it all kind of goes smooth sailing eventually. Obviously, it does just take time. Time is the best healer. Yeah, I'm sure it will go well in the end. But either way, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy this video, please do a like down below. Subscribe if you are new. Until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.